The White Room is a show pub with the longest history in Shinjuku Nichome, where LGBT people gather. The glamorous showtime has attracted many customers over the years. The long closure due to COVID was the biggest crisis since its establishment. The owner of the pub, Tamio Kondo, aka Konchi Mama.
こんにちは。
久々あれ以来ぶりです。
あれ以来ですね。
Konchi Mama was born in Osaka. Not being able to tell his family that he was gay, Konchi Mama drifted to Shinjuku Nichome at the age of 20 and opened the White Room. Since then, Konchi Mama has been a driving force in Nichome culture for 50 years.
ショーを見て元気になってもらいたいのも一つなんですけど、クラスターにうちのお店がなっちゃいけないなと、もう葛藤してますよ。でもこのままいくと正直で経営が成り立っていかないから、やっぱり最後はなんだかんだ言っても経営じゃないですか。経営が成り立っていかなきゃ言うだったらもうやめた方がいいかなと。
If the customers don't come back, we can't continue to run the pub. At a meeting to reopen the pub, she tells the cast members about her difficult financial situation.
大変なことになりましたけれど、ちょっとみんなそれぞれ考えてよ。もう半分ぐらいでもやっていけるか、もう7年ぐらいでもやっていけるからな、お店としては。厳しい状態だから。もう甘く考えちゃダメだよ。本当にあそこも潰れる、ここも潰れるばっかしだよ。
The White Room reopened soon after the first state of emergency declaration ended. However, the customers didn't return. The business was soon in jeopardy.
頭痛くなっちゃうわ、もうわけわかんないから。
The monthly rent, the cast members' salaries, and other expenses added up to 4.5 million yen in debt.
2000万借りた。とりあえず借りておかないと、少しでも赤字をなんとかしないといけないじゃないですか。
Every day that we open the pub, the deficit increases. Konchi Mama decided to reduce the number of business days. However, the daily wage cast members had reached their limit. In response to Konchi Mama's decision, 5 out of the 10 cast members decided to quit the pub.
コロナで人の本性って見えますよね。お布団もなければ何もないのに、もう本当に文句しか言わないから、もうどうでもいいですよ。
COVID created a huge rift between the cast members and Konchi Mama.
本当に悩んでるよ今。もうやめてもいいかなと思うけど、やめる方が楽なんだもん。
Should I close the pub? Konchi Mama's mind was reeling. Kanta is a longtime cast member of the White Room, one of the oldest show pubs in Shinjuku Nichome.
私はこのね、増えたからってね、ビビってる都とか国が嫌いなの。もう想定内じゃん、もともと。分かってたことなのにさ、ウィズコロナなんて一切言わないでしょ、今。ウィズコロナって言わないじゃん。家っちゅうのよ、ほんと。あれじゃない。まあ、うちら死ねってもんですよ。もう無理です。もう来ないですもん、お客さん。今まで来たお客さん。ビビってんじゃねっちゅうんだよ。もともと増えるの決まってんじゃねえかとか。
Summer 2020, when the number of people infected with COVID began to increase, the tendency to single out nightlife districts and treat them as if they were epicenter of infection was unbearable. Kanta-san, who was born in Fukuoka, Japan, attended a college in Tokyo to avoid being noticed as gay by the people around. She found the White Room after moving from one pub to another in Shinjuku Nichome district. She found her place here, where she puts on a fun show.
果たしてそのショーパブみたいのが必要なのかみたいな。でも一番今できないのは水商売だと思いますよ。でもそれでもみんな生きていかなきゃいけないという。コロナはね、人生が変わるんですよ。
変わりますよね。
うん。やっぱりいろんなことを、私もいっぱいちょっと変わってますもん、やっぱり。変えようとしてますもんね。
例えば。
だから新しいことを始めたりとか。
Nothing will change if we keep lamenting that it's COVID's fault. So using the day when the White Room is closed, Kanta opened a temporary bar. The number of customers was decreasing, and some of her colleagues were quitting. She invited her colleagues from the White Room who had been feeling down.
It's 嬉しいですよね。生き生きしなきゃダメなんだ。
ね。生き生きしてる。
そう、白いじゃあんまり生き生きしてないからさ。
そうそうそう。
そうね。だからモチベーション上げてあげてさ、また頑張れっていうことだ。
そうですね。
社長にも言われてんだよ。よろしくやったよ。
But 2 weeks later, we received news that Kanta had contracted COVID. Furthermore, 8 members of the White Room were also infected with the virus. The White Room, which has been in business for half a century in Nichome, was forced to suspend its operation once again. August 2020. After cast members were infected with COVID, the White Room was closed for business.
陽性患者を出したことによってなんか周りから責められるじゃないんだけど、そういうふうに自分が思い込んじゃうんだろうね。なんか悪いことしたような、悪いことしてる嫌な気持ちになるし、もうやめたいな。一人の時一人になるとお店やめたいな、やめたいなっていうことしかないよね。
This time, the pub might have to close for good. Still, there was one thing that Konchi Mama could not get out of her mind. The cast members who had shared her hardships and joys with her, but were now leaving the pub. At the very least, she would like to give them a glamorous final send-off.
意見の食い違いでね、あると思うよ。最後ぐらいはちゃんとやりたいなと思ってるのよ。お疲れさんでね。頑張りましょう。もうそんなことよりも辛いからやめましょう。コロナが憎いわ。
Overcoming an 18-day shutdown. Under the guidance of the health department, infection control measures were taken, and they were able to open the show to send off the cast. After more than 50 years of history and sending off so many cast members, she had never felt this way before. In the midst of the COVID pandemic, each of them has started on their own path. Some left the nightlife.
歯医者の関係の会社へ行きます。
While another will start her own pub in Nichome.
社長の気持ちも分かる。
もう分かってきたし、コロナ禍でお店やったから今なのは当然の覚悟でやってるから、まあ来てくれるねお客さんも嬉しいし、働けてるのがやっぱ。
And as for Conchi Mama and the White Room, a fresh start with new cast members.
若い子たちが頑張ってるの。あの子たちが全部同伴入れてるの。我々も頑張らなくっちゃ。
New encounters and farewells. In such stormy times, life will keep on going in Nichome.